Before I start this video, I just want to let you guys know that I finally have some brand new merch out. It's really cool. It's got the car, like the front of the car on the front of the shirt, and the back of the car on the back of the shirt. On the back, it's inspired by like those old school Terminator shirts where you could see like half of Arnold Schwarzenegger's face, but the other half was like the machine. So I want to make something like that. You know, I like to make my clothing a little different than everyone else's. I wanted to do something where it was kind of a vector image, but also kind of inspired by the classic Terminator kind of t-shirts that you used to see a lot of the times. Also, before I say anything else, this is not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. Take everything that I say with a grain of salt, because of course I am a car guy that spends lots of money on his car, which is financially not the smartest thing in the world, but it makes me happy. According to car gurus, the average price of a Terminator Cobra in the past 90 days has went up by a whopping 20.18%. That's a really large increase for a car in 90 days. I'm not exactly sure the reason for this. It could be because the economy is recovering. It's probably because the economy is recovering and just all assets are starting to go back up. But hear me out here. You guys know how with supply and demand, when the supply of something starts to go down, the demand starts to go up. It becomes more and more valuable because there are less of those things. So 0304 Cobras used to be really cheap. So back in like 2006, 2007, you could literally get these things for hardly anything at all. You get one with a lot of miles on it for like $14,000, $15,000. Now, the problem is that a lot of young people were going out and getting 0304 Cobras and not really understanding just how powerful they were and how to control that power, so they were getting wrecked a lot. So the supply of Cobras started to decrease because people were wrecking the crap out of them, and they even created the Mustang Meme. Like these cars, this Terminator Cobra, this was the car that started the whole meme of, oh, Mustang people can't drive because they always just kind of spin out when they catch second or third gear. It was because of the 0304 Cobras. So the supply started going down in 2007, 2008, 2009, 2010, to the point where whole companies were formed off of buying wrecked Cobras and then parting out all the parts and making a profit. And there were guys that were buying Cobras for the past 10 years for like, you know, a wrecked Cobra for like $5,000, $6,000, and then parting it out for like 20 grand. This became an entire business model for certain small businesses across the United States. And it's gotten to the point now where it's getting harder and harder to find a low mileage Cobra in decent shape. Recently, there was a red Cobra put up for sale for like $75,000, I think it was. I haven't looked at the actual article. You guys probably know the Cobra I'm talking about. The Mustang girl made a video about it. I think Big Clyde made a video about it. A couple of different YouTubers made videos about it. The crazy thing was, sticker price on 0304 Cobras, if I'm right, don't quote me, when they came out in 2003 was around like $33,000 to $35,000. And now a Cobra with no mileage is worth around $70,000 to $75,000, which is insane. So the price of the 0304 Cobra since 2003 has quite literally doubled. And it's only 2021. I don't know if you guys know this. Some of you guys probably do know this. Some of you guys in your late 20s, early 30s probably already know this. Some of you younger guys might not know this, but once a car hits 20 years of age, it legally becomes a classic. You can then have the car on your insurance as a classic. It might actually be cheaper to have your car on insurance as a classic. The problem is getting classic insurance is not as easy as you might think. Number one, you can't have changed anything in the car. I don't even think you can have changed the radio unit. I have a JVC, which probably means I can't register this on my insurance as a classic car. Now, classic car insurance it can be really cheap if the car just became a classic, because it's not really occurring too much appreciation just yet. But if you've done any modifications like me, I've done a ton, then you're probably not going to be able to get classic car insurance. But the whole point of this video was to tell you guys that I believe in the next 2 years that the 0304 Cobra is going to triple from its original factory price. By that, I mean if you could find an 0304 Cobra in 2023 with 5 miles on it, so like literally a factory, like showroom type of deal, that Cobra would then be worth around $100,000. I truly believe that because of inflation, because the 0304 Cobra will then be a classic, and because people are going to continue to keep buying them and wrecking them. Now, at a certain point, probably like 2024, 2025, 2026, maybe on to the 2030s, we're going to be at a point where so many of them have been wrecked that the type of person that would go and try to find one for cheap, you know, just to mod it and beat it on the street, those guys are not going to be able to afford them anymore. So they're probably not going to gain too much value from the supply being lowered anymore, because people are just going to buy them and hold on to them and not drive them. But I think right now, between 2021 and 2022 is like a golden opportunity. The supply keeps dropping because people keep wrecking them. We're going through a period of great inflation, possibly like 2.4% this year, 2.4, 2.5. I don't know. I'm not a financial advisor, but I'm saying I think because of everything that's happened in the past year, I think inflation is going to be a little worse than normal. Also, these cars are still getting wrecked, so the supply is going down, and they're going to be becoming classics in just a few years. I think now's the time to buy an 0304 Cobra with low mileage. If you're wanting to buy one, keep it in your garage and keep it as just like a long-term asset that you can just hold and enjoy from time to time, and maybe give down to your kids. Now, for me, I bought this car, I think it's like 8 or 9 years ago now. I bought this car when I was like 17 and a half. I'm 26 now. I bought it, I think it was 2012 or 2013. I can't remember the exact year that I bought it, but when I bought it for $16,500 with 96,000 miles, which back then was a fair deal. If you go on something like Car Gurus now, you're going to see Cobras with 96,000 miles. They're going to be between $20,000 and $23,000. So, since Cobras have came out on the higher mileage side, their value depreciated and then came back up. So even on the higher mileage side, if you have a higher mileage Cobra like mine, I expect in the next 2 to 3 years, even just this car to appreciate another 20%. So even if you have a high mileage car, you will have appreciated your car's value by around 20 to 40% depending on the mileage. But if you have one with hardly any miles at all, you could literally have a 3x return on investment in just the next couple of years. Now, of course, I'm saying if you had bought the car like a long time ago. I'm making this video because I know I've made a lot of videos kind of like talking down about the Cobra, saying like, this is not really a smart buy. I want you guys to understand the context. If you're trying to buy an 0304 Cobra as a financial asset, then buying a high mileage one and then building the crap out of it, it's not a smart move, because you're literally just throwing away your money, or at least I've done that. But I wasn't buying the car as a appreciating financial asset. I was buying it as an appreciating happiness asset. So I bought the car because I wanted to be really, really happy, and I best investment in happiness that I've ever made. It's changed my life more than anything that I've ever spent money on. I've met most of my friends. I've made so many relationships from this car, although it's not a great financial asset, and I've just been throwing money into it. And I've had a lot of people tell me, well, Jordan, why don't you just freaking sell that thing? You're blowing all your money. No, because it's an asset that makes me happy. It's an asset for my YouTube channel. It's my brand. So it helps me make money from my brand. It makes me really, 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 really happy. And I do believe that this car at some point is going to be the reason that I'm able to become a full-time YouTuber. So for me, it is an asset to my brand. The car itself wouldn't be worth as much to anyone else, but you've got to understand, some things are only valuable to certain people. Like for me, this camera that's filming me right now is very valuable to me. It's made me quite a lot of money. It's made me my full-time income. Maybe to some of you other guys that don't film for a living, it's not as valuable to you. So if you can get yourself into a situation where you make videos about your Cobra, or you talk about it so you make money from having it, like actual income, like year-to-year income, it's going to appreciate over time. Say you've got a lower mileage one that you're going to keep in the garage. That's a really good investment. If you're buying a lower mileage 0304 Cobra to make videos on and you're going to keep it in the garage, then that is an absurdly good investment to make in 2021. If you're buying a higher mileage Cobra and you're planning on building the crap out of it, say putting like $10,000, $15,000 into it and then selling it in the next 2 years, you're going to lose all of your money. And that's a really, really bad idea, because even if these appreciate in the next couple of years, if you're buying one that's already high mileage and then putting a bunch of parts into it, you're not going to get your money back. So, in my opinion, I think right now, the smartest thing to do in terms of if you want to buy an 0304 Cobra is to buy one with mid-range to low mileage. So mid-range, 30 to 50,000 miles, or low-range, 5,000 to 20,000, and just keep it in your garage, do tasteful mods to it, keep all the factory parts. If you want to make videos on it or content on it, or start an Instagram page, I think that would be a financially smart decision. But don't buy one with a ton of miles and then sell it. On the other hand, one more thing that I will say, and I know this is like a lengthy ranting video. If you like this type of videos, I can make way more videos like this. There's not any planning that goes into it. But if you don't, just, let me know with the likes to dislikes. Like the video if you enjoyed it. If this is too much for you, dislike it, that's totally fine. Just tap the dislike button twice. If you are younger, like 16, 17, and you don't mind throwing money into the Cobra and you do plan on keeping it forever, then it's okay and even a good decision to buy it regardless of the mileage. I'm just saying, if you're younger, sometimes it's harder, and opportunity cost. If you buy something when you're young that is really expensive. So what I'm saying is, if you don't have the money to spend like 20 or 30 grand on a Cobra when you're 16 years old, but you really, really, really want to have a Cobra like I did, it's okay to buy higher mileage. I know this is just a ton of ranting, so again, take this as a grain of salt. This is not advice or financial advice or anything of the sort, but I just wanted to throw a little bit of context into all the videos I've been making about why you shouldn't buy a Cobra and why it's a bad investment in 2020 to 2021. It's not. It depends on the context. It depends on who you are and what you're going to be doing with it. I think it would be bad to buy one with high mileage, build it, and then sell it in a year for less than you bought it for. But I think it would be really, really, really smart to buy one with lower mileage, tastefully mod it, and then hold it your entire life. It's all context. It's all what you're gonna do with it. And yeah, with that, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and jump off the video and head to the gym, get a little quick workout in. My dad just turned 61, so if you don't mind, leave him a little happy birthday comment if you made it to the end of the video. That's how I'll know that you made it to the end of the video, and I will see you guys next video. First cold start in a week.